We are Chris Lee, Blake Lovell, and Max Barr of Southeastern 14 here to preview Kentucky's trip to College Station to face Texas A&M. You can catch that on ESPN at 1 Central. We don't have a line on that as we do this Thursday morning, but what we try to do is average BPI, Bart Torvik, and Ken Pomeroy and give you an idea of what the line should be. And according to that, A&M is a 1-point favorite. However, boy, we got some mixed signals here. BPI has got A&M as a 4.3 favorite, 4.3 point favorite with a 65% chance of winning. Bart Torvik has A&M as a 0.1 point favorite. Underdog. It literally gives A&M a 50% chance to win. So it's ultimate coin flip game. You can't get closer than that. Ken Pomeroy has got Kentucky as a 1-point road favorite with a 51% chance to win. So two computers have it as a toss-up. BPI gives A&M almost a 2/3 chance to win the game. So that's some pretty crazy stuff at this point in the season. Before we break that down, a reminder, this video brought to you by BetOnline. With the NFL playoffs right around the corner and the NBA season in full swing, BetOnline has you covered with all the up-to-the-second odds, news, and scores with additional odds, lines, trends, and info on both desktop and mobile. You can access the world's best wagering information anytime. Head there today to get in the action, see all the updated odds. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE to get your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, we'll start with Blake. Crazy splits with the computer there we went over. I don't know what you attribute that to. The computers have not been as high on Kentucky, I think, this year as we've been. Still believers, all of us in the Cats. I don't know what to make of A&M at this point, though. Offensively, this team has gone without a field goal for about 10 minutes in each of its last two games. Auburn, I can understand that. Neville Arena, I don't know what was going on at home against LSU. Blake, I'll start with you in sizing this one up. Interesting matchup here between the Aggies and the Cats.
And yet the computers think that, the computers watched that LSU game and said, boy, we're all in on Texas A&M here, huh? I said it before. If Kentucky did not lose to UNC Wilmington, your faithful computers would have a completely different stance on the Wildcats. I think that's it. I think that broke kind of the computers in terms of what they think about Kentucky is just. But I mean, it makes sense. I mean, again, it's a loss. It's an unexpected loss. Like it's just one that, because I think Arkansas actually broke UNC Wilmington. They lost 3 straight since they lost to Arkansas. But yeah, so I wonder if that's just part of it. Is just that's factored in. But I mean, if you're just looking at the way these two teams are playing, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to look at this game and feel confident about A&M's chances to beat Kentucky, just because I look at the way Kentucky's been playing. I look at the way A&M's been playing, and it's just you're talking about a team that has scored 55 or fewer points in their first 2 SEC games. And now they've got to come out and try to do it against one of the better scoring teams in the league. It's hard, but at the same time, this is, and I know I'm setting Max up, but like this is the ultimate betting spot. Like if you are looking at this and you're like, man, everything is in Kentucky's favor here, minus the pesky computers. A&M's played terrible. This is an easy one. Slam dunk. Kentucky Wildcats by 10 or more. We've seen this so many times. And again, we're talking about a team going on the road to play this game in College Station. These two teams have had some battles over the years, just kind of given the history between these two, because they've been two of the better teams in the league over the past little while. And so I don't know, man. This is like one of those, what's the meme, or, it's like feels like a setup. Like
Yep.
this one feels like a setup to me. But
is this a trap?
Trap. That's it. The trap. What
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this has all the makings of a trap here. This is a scary one. This is a scary one. It's an absolute desperation spot at home for A&M. Absolute desperation. Like I don't think they'll possibly play any harder than they will in this game. It's a bunch of seniors that are not only playing for their team pride, but their season life. I mean, their last year of college basketball. They're playing for, this is one of the biggest wins they would have all year. So this is going to be an intense game. Here are some spots that I found interesting. I think this is a game where Kentucky might finally really miss Aduthiero. They haven't really missed him too much in the past 2 games, but if you look at the numbers, he's one of the team's best rebounders, especially defensive rebounders. And you're coming off of a game where Trey Mitchell played all 40 minutes. I would be very surprised if he was able to play all 40 minutes in this physical of a game. You're looking at a Texas A&M team that has really struggled with efficiency. Chris, you've been all over it, especially with the guards, right? Just how low those percentages have been. But Kentucky has not been a good guard defending team, especially here in conference play against Zion Pullen and Walter Clayton from 2-point range. So from inside the arc, Pullen and Clayton combined 11 of 17. Now move on to Missouri. Sean East and Tamar Bates, they combined for 10 of 16 inside the arc. So in 2 conference games, you've seen a Kentucky defense that has given up quality looks inside pretty regularly. So I think we're going to get a rather, compared to the season numbers, a rather efficient night from Wade Taylor and Tyrese Radford, because I don't really think Kentucky is playing at the defensive level that Texas A&M has just played in Auburn, of course. So obviously Kentucky, if you look at the numbers, Kentucky's going to have their offense. It's going to look like they're going to blow them out of the water. But with how intense this game is going to be played, with how physical this game is going to be played, man, I'm just getting all the feelings of a trap game here.
Max, I'm looking for some info on Solomon Washington, who plays a big role for the Aggies in the paint. He didn't play the last 2 games. I don't find an update. Are you guys seeing one?
So Solomon Washington took a really hard fall a few games ago. And I saw a report that he was warming up in the last game, had a little bit of movement going on. But if you're trying to find an injury report on a Buzz Williams coach team, let me just save you some time. You're not finding it. So he's come out publicly and said he's not giving out information on injuries. So until Solomon Washington plays, I'm assuming he's out. He took a real hard fall, but this is a game where they could use him, definitely.
All right, let's get into picks. I'll start with you, Max. What's your gut telling you on this game?
I think you guys know where my gut is leaning. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to take Texas A&M at home when no one else in the whole world wants to do it. I'm going to do it. I think the Kentucky defense has proven that they're going to allow an efficient night from Wade Taylor and Tyrese Radford, unlike Texas A&M's previous opponents have. And I just think they need this one to save their whole season. This is the Super Bowl of Texas A&M season. This is as big as it's going to get for them. They need this one more than any game they've played. So I'm going with the desperation spot at home. That it burned me against Tennessee. So I'll go with the home team here.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is a total trap. I think this is one that it just seems to be A&M cannot play as bad as they played these past couple games. I think offensively they can't be this bad. Because most of the season they've not been this bad, even without Tyrese Radford at times. And again, I keep talking Wade Taylor. I don't think he's going to have he's not going to have the performance he had against Auburn. I just find it hard to believe. Because I just, for starters, I don't think Kentucky's as good of a defensive team as Auburn is. And so all of that said, I think there's a lot of things that could be in A&M's favor here. But the problem is just I feel like this is one of those games where it's not the same as the Florida game, but I think there are some similarities in terms of how this sets up for Kentucky, and that I could totally see Kentucky going in here struggling. A&M, all of a sudden they find their offensive groove. I don't know if they're going to hit 8 threes in the first half like Florida did. I just don't know if I
Yeah.
trust A&M to do that as the 355th team in the country in three-point shooting. But if they do, good luck, because that means it's their night probably. I just don't know if, again, throughout a 40-minute game, I am confident enough to pick them to win based on what we've seen in these past couple games. I do agree. You know, we talk about coaches kind of getting their team, fixing the problem. Like Buzz Williams has done it in recent years, right? Look how bad they were in non-conference play last year. They turned it around, remarkable in SEC play. You know, I know it's a different, but like, you know, Muss has done the same over the years. Why we always brought up that theme with Arkansas is they always figured out, although this year may be different as we've talked about. But
Right.
this is just one where I still feel like I need to probably bank on Kentucky finding a way to win this one until I actually see it from A&M. Because I just look at these last two performances and they just, I would not bet this game for, I just would want no part of this, like I said, because I do think it's the ultimate trap where all momentum in one team's direction, but the difference is they have to go on the road. And that's our theme now in SEC play. When you go on the road, wild things happen, teams find their way at home. And it seems like a decent spot for that to happen for A&M, but I'm going to bank on Kentucky's depth here and the usual. I don't know which guy it's going to be, but one of these guys on Kentucky is going to step up and make some big plays down the stretch and kind of counter what I think will probably be a pretty good game from Wade Taylor as kind of a bounce back response for some of the struggles in that Auburn game. So give me the Cats on the road here.
You guys are both right. This is the trap, and one of you fell in it, and I'm about to tell you which one.
Oh, I know which one you trust me.
Let me give you Texas A&M scoring the last month or so. Okay, Houston, A&M goes, and I mean, I watched that game late. Wade Taylor could not miss late. He gets 34 of A&M's 66 points. Still wasn't good enough. Next up, A&M plays Houston Christian. It scores 79 points in a home win. But guess what? Houston Christian is ranked 345 of, 362 teams in Ken Palm. Next game out, Prairie View A&M. Aggies again score 79 points. Prairie View A&M is in the 220s in efficiency. Home against LSU, 53 points. On the road against Auburn, 55 points. I mentioned those scoring droughts. They can't get a basket consistently from anybody right now, not named Wade Taylor, and it's taken him a bunch of shots. On the other hand, Kentucky, while Kentucky may not be an elite defensive team, it has got Reed Shepherd. It has got Trey Mitchell. It has got Rob Dillingham, who showed out for, 23 last time out. I trust Kentucky to put the ball in the basket a whole lot more than I do in A&M. Max, you fell in the trap by overthinking this. Congratulations. You fell in the cat trap. The John Calipari cat trap. You fell right in it. It's got your ankle. It's not going to let you out. I'm going
Max,
wild.
usually when he sets that up, it's to take a shot at me. So I'm really surprised that he went after you on this one. So welcome to the club.
It's your pledging period, Max.
I don't know. We'll see about this one. I think this is, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, there's some intriguing games this weekend, but man, it's like, this is an interesting setup too. By the way, I like my historical trends. They've not been that far off in recent. I'll just point this out. They've not been too bad here recently. Texas A&M has beaten Kentucky once since 2016. I told you they've had some good games, but Kentucky has seemingly found their way on the right end of those since then. The one I remember specifically was the SEC tournament game, 2016. It was 82-77. That was an overtime game, but some of the ones since then have been pretty close. Others, there's only been one just actual blowout. That was 100-58 in 2016-17 season. So, yeah, the one win in there for A&M was in College Station. That was 2018. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. This should be an interesting one.
All I want to say is if you are a betting man, just do not touch this game.
No.
Please.
No.
Stay away.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, I am the guy in the group who picked A&M to win the conference before the season started. But I watch basketball too. I don't recognize what I'm seeing. I mean, that team could show up. It is well coached. It has got veteran guards, but I need to see a little more before I can regain my enthusiasm for the Aggies. And with that, we will enthusiastically tell you what happened in this one. Either Saturday night late or Sunday morning, best way to catch it. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We're previewing every single SEC game for this weekend, as well as every single SEC game this season. Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. For Blake Lovell and Max Barr, I'm Chris Lee. We are Southeastern 14, presented by BetOnline.